Do you love female characters who are nurturing, kind, benevolent, steadfast, and just nurturing overall? Meet Wendy Darling.
My name is Wendy. Wendy Moore Angela Darling.
Wendy Darling is a lovely tween who lives with her siblings and her well-to-do parents, being the big sister of 3 children. Even her name just has like a nice quality to it.
Wendy Darling.
Fun fact about me, actually, I was not allowed to watch Peter Pan as a child. Don't ask me. You have to ask my parents. They were just like,
no.
So I didn't see Peter Pan until I was an adult. Like 2022. I know that's really bad, but don't judge me. Don't judge me. I had no control over it. But there are actually several Disney movies that I was not allowed to watch as a child that I had to watch as an adult. And as time goes on in this channel, we'll get through to those. But anyway, so what led me to it was that I was told that the Wendy in the remake for Peter Pan
And Wendy.
she was stripped of her femininity. And I'm like, huh? Was she? I don't know. I wasn't allowed to see the film. So when I found out that Disney remade it and that's what happened to Wendy, it prompted me, I'm like, okay, Jojo, it's finally time to check off Peter Pan off your list of Disney movies that you haven't seen yet. So I watched Peter Pan, and while it was problematic in some ways, it was beautiful in other ways. And my favorite character from that movie is, in fact, Wendy Darling. Now I see exactly how Wendy was sabotaged for the remake. And they took just a steadfast, strong, traditionally feminine character and just made her everything that she wasn't. So let's talk about trad women, right? Because that's not only is that in the title, but that's like a pretty heavy part of the video. So traditional women, or trad women, are women who prefer the more traditional lifestyle and role of a woman. So she likes to be the homemaker. She likes to cook, clean, mend, sew, take care of the children. Like, that actually makes her happy. Like, she wants to fulfill that role. It's a choice. She wants her husband to lead the family, and she just values her own femininity and values her role of being a woman and her femininity in that role. Now, there are stereotypes of what trad women are, so let's discuss what they're not. They are not pushovers, okay? You cannot walk all over them. They do not accept abuse. That is not okay. They do not swoon at the idea of being barefoot and pregnant every 5 minutes. You know, they're not slaves to their household. It's a choice that they make that makes them happy as women, right? And a lot of times we see, at least now in this current culture, it's being seen as something that's like not worthy of respect. You know, it's seen as like a backwards thing in society when it's been proven that it actually can work with the right pairing of people and with the right circumstances. Also, this doesn't mean that traditional women can't have hobbies, or it doesn't even mean they can't work. They just want their husband to be the main provider, the main protector, and the leader of the family. That's all they're looking for. Now, while Wendy is still only a child, she still represents that traditional female role that you can tell that her character, her destiny is to be a traditional woman, and she actually likes the idea of that. So Catherine Beaumont is she's an older, more mature woman now, but at the time, she was the girl who voiced the character Wendy. And even Walt Disney said that she was, the gracefully feminine voice. He wanted to reinforce Wendy's femininity and her story of how she's going to, how she's going to come into her own womanhood, right? And another stereotype actually is that these women don't have their own identity. That's not true. Wendy had her own identity. She had her own interests. She had her own likes. She was not a pushover. She was ready to defend herself Mermaid Lagoon, anybody? she had her own agency. She loved what she did, and she wasn't ashamed of it. She was responsible, feminine, nurturing, bold, kind, sweet, just generally a fantastic character, in my opinion. To me, Wendy's strength felt natural because no other character in the movie was as self-realized or was as unique in their way of life as Wendy. Wendy was extremely important. Actually, without Wendy, Peter Pan wouldn't really be the story that it is. In the remake, Disney takes all of this away from Wendy. In the remake, Wendy now kind of shuns motherhood. She doesn't want to grow up, which, I mean, that within itself, the original Wendy, you know, she kind of was the same way. But in this sense, she's not even sure if she wants to be a mother. She rejects femininity. She rejects motherhood. She almost rejects nurturing in a sense. In the original film, her mother's beauty inspired her.
Oh, Mother, you look simply lovely. Thank you, dear. I'm made over, but it did turn out rather Mary.
And in this movie, she's a jerk to her mother. Really, she's a jerk to her whole family. And that's just not the character of Wendy. It's not like the original Peter Pan teaches that all women or all girls have to be this way. This particular story shows Wendy's path to womanhood and how her path is important, how vital it can be in relation to male characters or just the males around her. In the remake, Wendy's strength comes from putting Peter Pan down, and she criticizes him by saying that he's only as amazing as he is because he's aided by a magical fairy, a group of boys, which I guess not so much all boys anymore, but a group of boys and an amazing Native American princess. When in fact, Wendy's amazingness in the remake comes from literally doing the exact same thing that Peter Pan does. She's aided by a magical fairy. She's aided by an awesome Native American princess. And the Lost Boys are there to help her and assist her. So if Peter Pan is a shill and a fraud, then what does that make Wendy? It's weird to me how they were so obsessed with making Wendy on Peter Pan's level. And I'll see if I can insert clips from the interviews about that. But yeah.
Said fleshed out for a new generation, especially with Wendy's character, as she's now an empowered leader and she's much more Peter's equal.
It's definitely a much more updated version. So Wendy is much more Peter's equal and a much more empowered leader.
Yeah, I agree with Alex.
They were so hell-bent on showing that, look, Wendy is just as important, just as capable as Peter Pan, when in the original movie, Wendy was already capable, but she was just capable in her own right. She was capable as a becoming woman. She was capable as a girl. She was capable because of her femininity. And for some reason, women and girls are just not allowed to be, they're not allowed to express their femininity anymore without being told that it's backwards, it's wrong, it's in reverse, it's not progressive. You know, if you're not more like Moana and the Mulan remake and Halle Bailey's Ariel, where you have to do everything, then you're not a legitimate woman. Like, you're not a strong, capable woman. And I know I'm a man, and I can only say or represent so much, but just coming from a man, ladies, girls, women, be yourself. Do you. If you want to embrace femininity, if you want to be a traditional woman, that is your right. Do not let anyone tell you, or do not let any movie tell you, or do not let any modern narrative tell you that you can't live the way that you want to live. But moving on. Wendy's presence shows the importance of having a motherly figure and what a woman can do and how she can inspire a man's life or a male's life. Wendy brings out the best in the Lost Boys, and she even challenges Peter Pan to reevaluate his view on things, right? And I don't understand why modern Disney feels the need to eliminate that as if that's not good enough. I thought that was a fantastic thing. I thought it was great that Wendy's femininity and her motherly presence inspires, it nurtures, it reminds them of the important things in life, like, your parents, being mature when you need to be, rising to the occasion. And now this Wendy is just all about, how much better can I be than Peter Pan? On this channel, I've always defended women who, whether you want to be a Wolf of Wall Street or if you want to be a stay-at-home mother who's a homemaker, I support you either way. I always have. You can look at my old videos on this channel. I've always supported it. And this is no exception. Traditional women deserve to have their stories intact, and they deserve to have them equally represented. And of course, there's no one way to woman. There's no one way to girl. There's no one way to woman. And while it's great to show other aspects of womanhood, I don't want to see the others changed, altered, or erased because of a modern narrative. That's all I'm saying. In the words of Emma Watson, which I have on the screen right over here because I cannot remember her quote in my head. But Emma Watson says that feminism is not a stick with which to beat other women with.
Feminism is not a stick with which to beat other women with. It's just not.
And I agree with that, although she's kind of a hypocrite because she kind of beat Belle with it, but see my Beauty and the Beast remake video for more on that. But even though she was kind of a hypocrite, I agree with that quote. It's not a stick to beat other women with. And when you try to erase, modify, change, or alter, or even just delete these women's paths and these women's stories, you are using feminism to beat those women. You're using feminism as a stick to beat those women with. And I don't support, and nor do I agree with that. So now it's you guys' turn. Tell me what you think. Tell me about your thoughts on the film. Tell me, do you feel that Wendy's character was sabotaged? Do you think that remake Wendy was amazing and that she should replace the Wendy the original Wendy, which please don't let that be any of you guys' talking point, please. But even if it is, I welcome all respectful discourse, and like, comment, subscribe. It really helps a brother out. I appreciate it. And until the next video, take care. See ya. Oh, bonus points if you get why I'm dressed like this. If you get why I'm dressed like this, let me know in the comment section below. I don't have like any real prizes to give you, but I will heart your comment and I will give you brownie points. How about that? Until next time, take care.